What's up, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I want to go over solving exponential equations by using logarithms. And I'm going to do that by going over a easy, a medium, as well as a hard example. And we're going to use a little calculator to help us. Now, I'll show you the exact version, but I will do the decimal equivalent here with the calculator because I think it's helpful. So let's go through the first example, which is going to be the easy one. This one is typically where your teacher will kind of introduce the lesson. Everybody kind of gets it in their notes. And then after that, you never see a problem like this ever again. But it's good to show you the kind of fundamentals. So in this case, I have 2 to the x is equal to a 7. And the way that I like to kind of introduce this with my own students is just think about inverse operations. Like if I had 3x is equal to a 9, like what would you do? Well, we say, oh, x is being multiplied by 3, right? So to undo multiplication, I would divide by 3 on both sides. So x equals 3. And if I had like x plus 3 is equal to 9, what would you do? Say x is being added by 3, so I'd subtract the 3 on both sides. So x is equal to 6. Now, the important word that I said in both of those two examples was the inverse operation. So over here, we have 2 being raised to the x is equal to 7. And for a lot of students, if you think of like the terms of like what's happening to the x, we undo that. When x is actually being the power, it gets confusing, right? But if you remember what I talked about inverse, hopefully that connects with you is like, what is the inverse of an exponential function? The inverse of an exponential function is going to be the logarithm. The logarithm undoes the exponential. The exponential undoes the logarithm, right? They're inverse functions of one another. So there is, the operation that x is that's being applied to x doesn't really make sense in this context. But if you think about it in terms of inverse operations, hopefully everything would make sense, or at least it'll bring you to, oh, I need to take the logarithm of both sides. But what logarithm do we take? What log do we take to both? Do we just take log of both sides? No, we need to take the logarithm of the same base of our exponent. So I need to take the log base 2 on both sides. Now, a lot of times this can get confusing with students, right? But if you remember our rules of logarithms, if I had log base b of b raised to the x, that is just going to equal x, okay? So we need to remember those rules of logarithms. So on this left-hand side, I'm left with an x is equal to a log base 2 of 7. Now, sometimes you're working with a calculator or computer software, and you can just type that in, you're gonna get your answer. But a lot of times, this might not be the answer, seeing the answer that's written, or you're not able to calculate it. So what else could we do? Well, we can introduce another rule of logarithms, which is the change of base formula. And the change of base formula allows us to use either logarithm in base 10 or natural logarithms to evaluate a logarithm to any base. And all we simply are going to do is, let's just do it like this. If I had log of base a of b, I can rewrite that as ln base b all over ln of base a. Now again, you could use natural logarithm or you could use logarithm base 10. I just prefer to use natural logarithms. So if I was going to rewrite this or define the decimal equivalent, I would say the ln of 7 divided by the ln of 2. Now in my calculator, I'll simply just plug in ln of 7 divided by the ln of 2. And when I do that, I get a 2.8 and I'll round that to the nearest 100. So I get a 2.81, okay? That's gonna be your answer. Now let's get into the next example, which is going to be a little bit more medium. You'll probably see this maybe on your homework. You'll see this maybe on a quiz that will show up, and maybe even a test. It's a good example that kind of displays here some understanding of what we can do, okay? Now, to understand a problem like this, we need to go a little bit deeper into our inverse operations. If you remember, when we were solving quadratic equations, we had like an x squared is equal to 9. You're like, okay, this is easy. Take the square root of both sides, x equals plus or minus 3, right? But then we started adding some things to it. We maybe said like a 2x squared, let's say plus 1 is equal to, I don't know, 29, okay? So we did something like this. And then we say like, all right, now what do? Do you just take the square root of both sides? No. What we needed to do before we could apply the inverse operation of squaring, which is the square root, right? Those are inverse operations of each other too. Before we can get into applying that, we needed to isolate the quadratic function, okay? We needed to isolate this variable. So we needed to subtract the 1 on both sides. 2x squared is equal to a 28. Divide by 2, and then we get an x squared is equal to 14. Now that my x squared is isolated, I can introduce the square root, okay? For exponential equations, it's the exact same thing. We cannot take the log of both sides until I get rid of this 2 and I get rid of this 1. Okay, I can only take the log of both sides when I have my exponential is going to be isolated, or at least that's the only way it's going to help me to be able to get that x off as a power. So again, using our inverse operations and reverse order of operations, the first thing we're going to do is subtract a 1 on both sides. So I get a 2 times a 3 to the 2x is equal to 8. Now, got to undo that multiplication, right? So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. And I get a 3 to the 2x is equal to 4. Now, a great mistake that students will make is they say, oh, well, I got to get rid of this 2 too, right? Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that 2 is in the power, right? We can't really get rid of that 2 until we get it off of the power, okay? So we can't undo anything that's happening here until it's off, okay? So we got to get it down first. So don't divide by 2 on both sides, okay? But what we do need to do is get rid of this 2x, though, that's in the power. So we need to be able to figure out, I need to take the log of both sides, right? Now, I need to take the log of both sides to what base? The answer is 3, right? The same log base for the logarithm needs to be the same base for your exponential or as your exponent. So I'm going to take the log of base 3 on both sides. Again, that, using my rules of exponents, it doesn't matter if it's x, guys, or if it's 2x, okay? My log base 3 is just going to leave me what's left of my power. So that's just going to be a 2x. It's a horrible 2x. A 2x is equal to a log base 3 of 4. Now, again, I can rewrite this or divide by 2 to isolate my x. Okay, now I don't really want to rewrite this as divided by 2. I'm going to rewrite this as multiplying by 1/2. So x equals a 1/2, and then I'm going to use the change of base formula, and I'll just do this as a ln of 4 divided by an ln of 2. So let's go ahead and figure out what this would. So ln of 4 divided by a ln of 2. And then I'm going to multiply that by 0.5 or 1/2. You can, whoa, that's not what I did. ln of 4 divided by 2. Did I type in something wrong? I guess I reworked this problem actually on a different video, and I got the answer wrong. So I'm not sure if I made a mistake, but I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments either on that video or in this video, but there we go for on that one. Now let's get into our last example, which is the hard example, and to be honest with you, it's actually not really that more difficult, but it is a problem where I see students make more and more mistakes. And the reason being is there's just more numbers and there's some negatives. And for whatever it is, students get more confused. It just gives this impression that it's that much harder of a problem. But ladies and gentlemen, if we revert back to the first example I gave you, to the second example, the process is all going to be the same. We are going to use our inverse operations to isolate our exponential function, and then we are going to take the logarithm of the same base of that exponent, and then go ahead and solve from there, okay? So first thing let's do is we recognize we have an exponential equation, e, okay, is our base, and that's raised to the 3x minus 6. I need to solve for x. First thing I need to do, I need to isolate this. So I need to undo what is happening to my exponential equation. So we see we have a positive 4. That means it's actually being added by 4, and it's being multiplied by a negative 2. All right, so we don't add 2. This is actually a 2 times that, right? And it's a negative 2 times that. So I'm going to subtract a 4 on both sides. I get a negative 2. E to the 3x minus 6 is equal to, you owe me $22, you borrow 4 more, that's a negative 26. Now I'll divide by a negative 2, and I get an e to the 3x minus 6 is going to equal, now negative divided by negative is a positive, so that's going to be a positive 13. Okay, so now I have e to the 3x minus 6 is equal to a 13. What logarithm has a base e? Remember, they all have to have the exact same base if you're going to get rid of it. Well, hopefully you recognize, hopefully you guys recognize that I've been using ln or the natural logarithm. The natural logarithm is base e. So that's all I'm simply going to do is take the natural logarithm on both sides. And again, don't add 6 and divide by 3. We can't do that inverse operations until you get rid of the function. And actually, I apologize. I should have explained something like this. Remember going back to our quadratics? When we were solving square radical equations, if I had something like, solve for x, like 1, what did you do? You squared both sides, right? You just use the inverse operations. But if I had like a 2, square root of x is equal to 1, what did you do? You divided by 2 first. Then you took the square root of x is equal to 1/2. Then you could go ahead and square both sides, right? But what if I had the square root of 2x is equal to 1? you don't divide by 2 on both sides. You square both sides first. That kind of unlocks for you to be able to get into under the radical because you got rid of it. And now you're left with 2x is equal to 1. You can divide by 2. Okay, this is the exact same thing, guys. We can't do anything with that 3x minus 6 until we get it off of the as the power. But taking the ln of both sides with base e is that first step, right? So that's going to give us a 3x minus 6. 3x minus 6 is equal to a ln of 13. Now I'm just going to add a 6 to both sides. 3x is equal to a ln of 13 plus 6, and then divide by 3. Divide by 3, okay? So x is equal to a ln of 13 plus 6, divide by 3. Now again, that is your correct answer, but if your teacher or if the test has a decimal equivalent, we got to make sure we plug it into our calculator. So I'd have ln of 13, and then plus 6, and then divide that by 3, and I get a 2.85. So let's just leave that as x is equal to 2.85. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That are 3 examples for solving exponential equations by using logarithms and a good old handy calculator. If you want to see more examples of me solving or working with exponential equations and logarithms, or you just want some more resources to practice on your own, then check out the description and the resources I have for you down below, or check out the next video I have for you here. Cheers.